here's everything that you need to know when it comes to using Nvidia on Hyprland, okay? So here, first of all, the first thing we need to do is install a bunch of drivers. So if you're on Arch Linux, let me just show you NeoFetch real quick so you can see the kind of setup that I have. Okay, this is an Asus V16 V3607VH, okay, with, let's see over here. So this has an RTX 5050 along with an Intel Core 5 210H CPU. Okay, great. Now, in order to make sure that Nvidia works properly on this setup, on this computer, okay, what I had to do was basically get a bunch of drivers. Now, because I was on Arch, I just had to install these packages. Okay, now, a quick note on this package, okay, Nvidia Open DKMS. These are basically a bunch of drivers, but they're the open variant of drivers. And there's also DKMS, which is something that I will get to in just a second, okay? So let's take a look at what the Hyprland wiki has to say about this. First of all, they start by saying that there's no official Hyprland support for Nvidia hardware, blah, 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 so on and so forth, okay? Now, for the actual support that Hyprland has for Nvidia drivers, here are the three different setups that we can have, okay? You can either have entirely proprietary Nvidia drivers, okay? Or you can have entirely proprietary Nvidia drivers except the open source kernel modules, or you can have Novo open source drivers, which is basically a completely open source implementation of Nvidia drivers. Now, a quick note, because this is actually a pretty new computer, let me just show you NeoFetch again. This is a pretty new computer that was released just earlier this year, okay? Because of which, I will have to use the open variant of the drivers. So it says right here, right, for those on the Nvidia 50XX series of graphics cards, whether that be a laptop 5050 or even a desktop one, or newer, the open source kernel modules are required when using the proprietary Nvidia drivers. If, however, you are on a much older, or rather even just a little bit older version of a graphics card when it comes to Nvidia graphics cards, right? Let's say you had something like a 4080 or a 4060, 4050, or even a 3050 or a 1650, GTX 1650, or whichever other card, you would be better off installing the proprietary Nvidia drivers. Now, I know us Linux users and us Hyprland users, we generally tend to have a dislike and sometimes a strong hatred towards anything proprietary, but trust me, your experience on Hyprland with proprietary Nvidia drivers is just going to be so much better if you just suck it up and get used to using a little bit of proprietary software, at least when it comes to the drivers, right? Because really, what's the point in using Hyprland and making your setup look this good if you're not even able to use it properly, right? So if I just show you this theme switcher, by the way, which I just happen to customize today, I've also implemented a different feature when it comes to wallpapers. So I can choose a different wallpaper by pressing Mod Shift T, and that allows me to change the wallpaper like this. I can also choose a different theme. Let's say I pick something like Tokyo Night. Whenever I choose a different theme from this theme switcher, the center transition is used, and then let's say I switch between different wallpapers, the wipe transition is used. So it creates a cool little contrast between a theme that's used and a wallpaper that's being switched, so that's pretty fun. And just show you a bunch of different wallpapers being used over here. And to be honest, my favorite theme has to be Rose Pine, especially with this wallpaper. As soon as I found this wallpaper, I damn fell in love with it. This has to be one of the best wallpapers I've ever seen in my 4 years of Rising Hyprland. Along with that, there is also this Overwatch panel, which I got looking like this, looks pretty sweet, along with this brightness little pop-up, along with, let's see, a couple of other things, like this app launcher and this logout menu. Which, by the way, if you want to know how to make something like this yourself, I teach you exactly how to do it in the first link in the description. So if you want to know how to make something like this, something as smooth and as beautiful, without having to basically waste your time just jumping from one tutorial to the other, not following a proven system, you can go ahead and click the first link in the description. I teach you by basically following a complete and proven system that I used in order to make this setup myself. If you want to actually learn how to do it and not just copy and paste it and then have to spend hours upon hours troubleshooting, you can go ahead, click the first link, and I'd be happy to help you out. Now, let's switch the theme back to Rose Pine. And let's keep this wallpaper because it actually looks pretty sweet. And you know what? Let's show you one more wallpaper showcase. This pool one looks pretty sweet as well. Ta-da! As you can see. You know what? Let's actually keep it this one. Great. Now, back to the drivers here. So if you're on 50 series of Nvidia's graphics cards, you're supposed to install Nvidia Open DKMS. Otherwise, you can install Nvidia DKMS for the proprietary drivers. then Nvidia utils for the user space drivers, Nvidia settings for this settings panel. So if I show you Nvidia X server settings, this is what you have when it comes to that. So you can take a look at your graphics information, and then you have thermal settings, then you have power miser. Yep, that is literally power miser. Okay, you can change whatever you want to over here. Then you have application profiles. If you want, you can look up how exactly you're supposed to configure this. You can change that. And then when it comes to Nvidia settings configuration, you have the actual configuration for this app itself. So that's what you can do with this settings app. And then of course you have Linux Zen headers. Now, here's the thing. If you are not already using the Linux Zen kernel, what are you doing? Okay, first of all, let me I have to. It is my obligation to ask you exactly what you're doing when it comes to not using the Zen kernel, because one, it's just faster. It has a bunch of different optimizations that have been made to the default kernel that make it just a joy to use over the default kernel. You're not going to notice the, what do you call it, difference between the stock kernel and this one in terms of, what do you call it, in terms of the difference in code, because of course you're not taking a look at the code itself. But when it comes to actual usage, I've used the stock Linux kernel before and the Linux Zen kernel, and the Zen one's honestly faster. And trust me, it's not just confirmation bias, as we say in psychology, where you're just looking for evidence to confirm a belief that's already existing. No, like the Zen kernel is actually faster. Now that is what I'm actually using. This kernel is what I'm using so far, which is why if you're using the Zen kernel or basically any other kernel, you're supposed to install the headers for that kernel, and then you're supposed to install the DKMS variant of the proprietary Nvidia drivers so that you can basically get the drivers to work properly, okay? Now, if, however, as I mentioned earlier, if you're on the 50XX series of graphics cards, make sure to get the open kernel modules so that you have better support, and that's it. That is installing the drivers, okay? That's on Arch. If you want to figure out what exactly these driver names are called, what exactly these apps are called on your specific distro, you can just look that up. You'll find it pretty easily, okay? Okay, then next we have Prime stuff. So Nvidia Prime. This is an app that allows you to use your dedicated GPU to run any single app. Let's say, for example, that I wanted to prime run, okay? Prime run is the command that Nvidia Prime, the package, gives you. So of course you can install that by typing in yay-s Nvidia Prime on Arch Linux, and then that is going to give you access to this prime run command. Now if I prime run any app of my choice, let's say I prime run Brave, okay, I hit enter, and as you saw, it's just much faster, okay? Let me try launching that without using prime run. If I just launch it, yeah, it takes a second, whatever, but then if I just type prime run, it appears just half a millisecond, not half a millisecond, but half a second quicker. When you run this command and then you pass in another executable, what you're doing is basically using the dedicated GPU in order to run this specific command. So it's even better if I just show you how exactly this works. If you're on an ASUS laptop, you can install ASUS CTL, okay? If I just pacman or yay-q and I grab ASUS, yeah, there's ASUS CTL and ASUS CTL tray upgraded Git, along with ROG Control Center, right? That's also what I have, ROG Control Center. Okay, so for this ASUS laptop, I have installed ROG Control Center as well, which is an app to control ASUS CTL. Now what that allows me to do is basically this. So I can set the charge limits and I can set platform profiles and whatnot. All that's fine, well and good. But what I'm most interested in is this little tray icon over here. If I hover over it, it says GPU mode equals hybrid and GPU power equals active. Right now I'm recording, so it's going to be using the dedicated GPU, but what you can do if you have another ASUS laptop is basically just install this control center, unplug your laptop from battery, okay? It's going to be saying, what is this? Suspended. Yeah, GPU power equals suspended. But when you prime run an app, let's say I prime run Brave, what's immediately going to happen is the dedicated GPU switches on and it's going to be used in order to display whatever app that you chose to run with prime run. That's it. So prime run is mainly used to launch any app that you want with your dedicated GPU instead of your integrated one, whether it be Intel or AMD, right? That was number 2. Now, number 3 is Nvidia Optimus. Now, most Nvidia laptops, if you are on a laptop which has Nvidia graphics, okay, and integrated graphics, you have the ability to switch between the two depending on the kind of load the laptop is facing. Let's say I was rendering something in Kdenlive, or what's that app by Blackmagic Design? It was called Resolve, right? DaVinci Resolve. Let's say I was rendering something in Blender or even Resolve. Okay, of course, the GPU is going to be used for that, the dedicated GPU. If, however, let's say I was just unplugged and on battery, I was just browsing around the web, I was looking at wiki pages, I was browsing through r/Unix porn, that doesn't really require that much computing power, and so only the integrated GPU would be in use. Now, how you actually control whether you're in hybrid mode or integrated mode only is through this tool called SuperGFX-CTL. So let me show you how that tool works. SuperGFX-CTL. Let me just search it up for you. Okay. Now here, it's a utility for Linux graphics switching on Intel or AMD iGPU plus Nvidia DGPU laptops. So I just means integrated and D just means dedicated, right? Now if I show you super GFX CTL dash help, if I show you the help flag, we have a couple of different options, okay? Now -M is to set the mode. This is for the version of the tool itself. The ones we're most likely to be using are M, so this is to actually set the graphics mode, then -G to get the current mode, get the supported modes. This you're only going to run once to get to know what modes we actually have. This one is to just check the vendor name and the rest of the stuff, which you can run if you want to. So let me show you what happens if I type -G. So right now it's in hybrid mode. It's not only in integrated mode. So as you saw earlier, ROG Control Center told me that the dedicated GPU is in use, which would in fact be correct. Now let's actually set this to -M. Before that, let's actually take a look at what not power status, but supported modes are actually available. So if I type in -S, we have integrated mode and hybrid mode. Now here's a cool little fact, okay? On some laptops, on some really high-end laptops, you have what's called a hardware muck switch, which basically allows you to use the dedicated GPU at your command, at your will. Now here, on this laptop, there is a software muck switch, which means that whether the dedicated GPU is active and in use depends on the kind of load that the laptop is facing. So there's no option for me to just perpetually turn on the dedicated GPU even if no app is running. If, however, I did want to use the dedicated GPU for whatever drawings that had to happen on the screen, I could just use prime run and then run an app, keep that in the background perhaps, or let that be my browser and then browse through it, which would in turn just make the entire rest of the experience on Hyprland much better because the dedicated graphics card is being reused, right? But you get the drill. Anyway, that's about a muck switch. Now here, there are two options that I can use. Either integrated, which only uses the integrated graphics, or hybrid, which uses both the integrated graphics and the dedicated, depending on circumstances. That's it. If I wanted to set it, I would just change -M to integrated. Graphics mode change to integrated. Required user action is logout required to complete mode change. Thankfully, it requires a logout because I would not want the performance of the recording to suffer. So let's switch this back. Seems to be taking a second. We can just let that be. Now, as for knowing whether the GPU is actually turned on or not, there's a couple of different ways you can do it. If you're on ASUS, you can use that tool I mentioned earlier, or you can just use SuperGFX CTL -S, which gives you the status. Now it's supposed to give me the status, but then something's going on here, which is not nice, so... Okay, great. Well, it seems to have done something, which is not fun. But anyway, -S gives you the status of whether the thing is turned on or not. In fact, let me just actually check what's happened to it. Okay, good. It's still running. This here, if you see... Yep, it still says active, so that's nice. Let's quit this, log out and log in, and my problem should be solved. But yeah, those are the main three things that you have to install in order to make sure that Nvidia works properly inside of Hyprland. Now there is one more thing that we have to do. Okay, so these are all the packages that we had to install. That's fine, it's basically an explanation. Now as for early KMS, mode set, and FBdev, if you're on Arch Linux, this step has already been done for you. Then here, again, all that stuff, it's already been done. Now, as for environment variables, you just have to add these two to your Hyprland config. So if I just show you config hyper modules env.conf. Oh, and by the way, if you're wondering what this modules folder is all about, it's basically taking one file and then splitting it into multiple different files in order to make maintenance easier. It's something I like to call modularity, which I explain in much more detail inside of the program, which is the first link in the description. So if I just show you what that is, yep, it's right here. So this is a 40-minute module, around 40 minutes if it loads. Yep, it's a 40-minute module where basically I cover why make things modular, the apps that we can make modular, and how exactly to go about doing that. And of course, in that program, I also show you how you can make absolutely stunning theme switchers like these. If you want to know how to make a custom theme switcher like this one, along with a wallpaper switcher when it comes to wallpapers, along with the rest of the setup that you see over here, I teach you exactly how to do that inside of the theme switchers module somewhere around here. If I scroll down, yep. So this is inside of the theme switchers module. So if I just click play, this is a 2-hour long module, which trust me, it took way longer than just 2 hours to create. But yeah, it's a 2-hour long module where I show you what theme switchers actually are, the different kinds, how to set up wallpaper based ones, and how to set up custom theme switching ones. The wallpaper based ones are done with Matugen and Pywall. The custom themed ones are made using, you guessed it, a bunch of scripts written by hand, which of course I teach you how to write by hand. So if you want to know how to do that, you can just go ahead, click the first link in the description, and I'd love to show you. Now for the environment variables, you just put the environment variables in here, and then you're done. libva driver name, you're picking Nvidia, glx vendor library name, Nvidia, and that's it. There are more environment variables, Nvidia related environment variables you can use, but then once you start stacking too many, you might start facing issues. Like for example, my OBS randomly stopped working, so OBS wouldn't detect my monitor at all, and I had to go through absolute hell in order to figure out that it was just freaking turning off these environment variables. That was going to fix my problem, but yeah. Anyway, make sure that you don't use too many environment variables. If, however, you face some issues with some programs, make sure to, first of all, troubleshoot the environment variables and see if that they are what causing the issue. And that's it. That is how you can use a bunch of different stuff, a bunch of different utilities in order to get Nvidia working on Hyprland as best as possible. There are a couple of other stuff over here, like flickering in Electron apps and whatnot, but I personally haven't faced that. I've been using VS Codium, which is an Electron app. I've been using Spotify, which is also an Electron app. I don't see any of that stuff at all, so I cannot personally speak for solving these issues. And that's it. So if you want to know how to make a theme switcher like this one, along with a bunch of other stuff, like I mentioned earlier, when it comes to this little Overwatch panel and whatever else we've got going on here, right? You can go ahead, click the first link in the description. I'd love to help you out. If you liked the video, hit like. If you loved it and want to see more like this in your feed, hit subscribe, and I will see you next time. Stay rising.